Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. Flooding in British Columbia has created a farming disaster, according to the province's Minister of Agriculture, with thousands of animals that failed to escape the floods. But as our Jillian Code reports, farmers who could save their animals are now facing a new challenge.
Devastating flooding in the southern portion of British Columbia has crumbled highways and left entire communities without road access. Inside of those communities, farmers are working to save what they can of their herds.
I have friends in the area, so I contact the farms, and many responses are just in tears. Like, they are just in tears that somebody is thinking of more than just the people. You know, a lot of their life and industry is in that beef.
Layla Laird is helping coordinate efforts for people in the town of Merritt. She has friends and family in the area.
I've been contacted by a few different farms that have lost all of their hay.
Laird also helped evacuation efforts this past summer when the area was dealing with wildfire. She said community support has remained strong despite some families losing everything.
There's going to be families that come home and unfortunately weren't able to get their animals out. And there's going to be all that cleanup and that heartbreak. And knowing that the entire world, well, you know, Canada, anybody that's there supporting them to help them, it just helps, that feeling.
This flood has further pushed British Columbia's feed shortage to the brink, and Laird encourages anyone who wants to help to reach out.
I do have a fundraiser on my page on Facebook. So what I've been doing is accepting e-transfers to my account and then uploading in the names of people and tagging them and thanking them for their donation, just so everyone can make sure that their money is going exactly where they need it to be, and that's right back to the community.
Laird can also be reached through email at laylalaird@gmail.com. Jillian Code, Primetime Local News.
3 members of the city's Economic Recovery Task Force were at City Hall this week to share how they're working to support the local business community. For more on their presentations, here's Jace Mackey.
At the onset of the pandemic, the city created an Economic Recovery Task Force to help local businesses navigate through the changing business landscape. Community Futures, the Chamber of Commerce, and Startup Lloydminster are all members of the task force. All 3 updated council on their organization's initiatives.
It's great to see organizations that are working with entrepreneurs and existing businesses to help enhance those businesses.
Community Futures has been responsible for distributing federal RRRF grants. $1.8 million of grant money has been given to 36 Lloydminster businesses, helping to create or maintain 145 jobs.
Helping them to grow and flourish. That's the intent of all 3 organizations, is to build economic diversity and strength.
There's a sense of hope coming from all the organizations that feel the business environment in Lloydminster is heading in the right direction, and Lloydminster Mayor Gerald Albers feels that optimism in the air too.
We've just seen some tremendous prices of oil starting to rise. We've saw commodity prices like never seen on the grain side, and cattle prices holding their own.
Both Community Futures and the Chamber have launched their own e-commerce sites that allow local businesses to sell their products online. With the global supply chain facing challenges, shopping local this holiday season will be a win-win for consumers and businesses.
There's a great opportunity to support local businesses and get your Christmas gifts and not be waiting on a container that might not make it.
The city has also seen an increase in business license applications this year. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
More than a month remains until Christmas, but that isn't stopping a local man from sharing his holiday spirits a little early. For more on a local holiday tradition, Shelby Clark has the story.
It's year number 9 for Jerry Frank and his family as they bring joy to residents of the border city.
It's always lots of fun, and then it's exciting to see the people start to show up and to just to see the excitement on their faces and see the Christmas spirit starting to come alive in them.
Every year, the Frank family pitches in their time and efforts to set the lights up so people can come and enjoy the show. Even with the pandemic last year, they still seen lots of support from members in the community.
At the time, we only had to really worry about social distancing, which again, we encourage people to do. And so lots of people came out because they were able to sit in their cars to watch the show out front. There was no problems there, and then in the back they just maintained some spacing, and it was great to go.
Frank has seen the average amount of donations last year, even when there are many obstacles in place. He expects the same response with this year's shows and hopes to give residents a nice break, especially through COVID-19.
I think over the years we've definitely seen more of a busier times. Like we see more vehicles coming all the time, and which is great. I mean, that means more and more people are enjoying it, and I get lots of comments all the time that it's a family tradition that they do every year. They have to come and see the lights and take a tour and things like that. So,
with new music, new ornaments, and changes, the Lights and Sounds of Christmas is prepared to bring cheer for everyone around. The light show will launch this Saturday and will go till January 6th. Shelby Clark, Primetime Local News.
Now that we're getting into some chillier temperatures and seeing a little more snow, the Lloydminster Men's Shelter is reminding residents about their coldest night of the year fundraiser. The fundraiser involves a family-friendly walk in the border city to remind people just how cold it is for those living on the streets. This year, they have a goal of raising $20,000.
February 26th of next year, and we're already starting to plan. So we're excited about that. It's our major fundraiser every year, and it's near and dear to our hearts because it really touches on who we are and the service that we provide the clients that need us.
The money will go towards clothing, meals, food hampers, and more. And even though the event is still a few months away, you can still register right now.
People to walk and start a team, and just it's a feel-good event for sure. We're fielding calls, and we're preparing for the event coming up.
If you're interested in signing up or learning more, you can visit cnoy.org and search for Lloydminster. Now, before we take a break, let's check in with Josh Howerluck for some tips on how to be prepared for snowy driving conditions.
Today, I'm joined by Dustin St. Dennis from Castro Towing and Recovery to talk a little bit about what he's seen so far this winter. So over the past few days with the big snowfall earlier in the week, how busy have you been?
The past few days has just been a lot of winch outs. A lot of people getting stuck in the snow. Lloydminster, what a great people here. I've seen the community out there just helping everybody out, pushing, trying to pull and all that, making our lives easy too. You know, we got to keep the town going. And yeah, just a lot of winching and a lot of pulling, and a lot of seeing a lot of people in the community getting out there and helping a lot of people.
And then say I'm stuck in a ditch. What are some things that I could do to be best prepared for that situation?
You're going to want to have yourself a nice supply kit with you. You're going to want to carry, some canned foods, first aid kit. No one ever thinks of a first aid kit, but it's pretty important actually. Blankets are a good thing to have. Boots, winter jackets. You know, not many people roll around with winter jackets nowadays. You need to have a winter jacket on. Toques are a good thing to have too. Socks are another thing. You wouldn't think of it, but yeah, keep your feet dry, right? What did I touch up? Flashlights, candles. What else would be a good thing to have? Oh, cones. Get some cones out there. If you do get in the ditch, make sure to put your four-ways on if someone can see you there or find you, you know.
And then would you have any tips for people to, I guess, stay safer and almost avoid needing your services?
What you need to do is slow down. A lot of people don't realize they're used to the summer right now, and some people have the summer tires on or all season, not winter, you know. Even if you do have the winter tires on, you should slow down as well, right? Drive to the road conditions. Brake time. Don't be right on people like you usually are in the summertime. You know, give yourself 3 times that distance, because on a sheet of ice, you can really slide, eh? Bigger trucks, stay away from the bigger trucks. You know, give them room. Don't be in their blind spots. Don't be riding up on them. If it's snowy and the shoulder, the passing lane full of snow, and the semi's going a little slower, you know, well, pretty chances are if you try to pass them, that deeper snow is going to pull you in the ditch, right? So maybe just take the slower time, right? Take, extra 10 minutes, 5 minutes, saves an hour in the ditch waiting for me.
So then for you, is it really like after a big snowfall you're most busy, or are you just busy all throughout winter helping people out?
Oh, we're constantly busy all through winter pretty much, but there's big snowstorms, we really do get busy. But there's different ones, like this one here was a lot of snow, right? So we didn't have the real cold temperature, the vehicles freezing up and the dead batteries, people locking their keys in the vehicle because it's winter time now. A lot of people like to ride them, and the next thing you know, you locked yourself out, right?
And then I know you mentioned you've been doing a lot of winching out, but what are some of the other services you provide?
Oh, sir, we go right from lockout services. So if you're out there, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people forget to lock the vehicle, or some of these vehicles lock by themselves. I've done it before. You shut it, and it's in the shop. Also, you turn around, she locked on you, right? And yeah, lockouts, boosting. Make sure your battery's up to par here with because right now your battery can feel fairly good, but if it's a weak starter, if it's still starting, but starting a little slower, it's not like a strong battery should. It's something maybe to look at when the -20, -30s come in here, because those batteries are sometimes unboostable, right? They come so dead that it's time just to get a new one. They freeze so bad, eh?
And then aside from snowy and icy roads, what are some of the other, I guess, main causes of people needing you and needing your services?
Biggest cause is really the rush. A lot of times I come across it and that, and it's always on like on Highway 16 there and that, one lane's always clear, and then the other lane's always snow covered, and you get the faster guy trying to pass, or the guy passing and getting by the next guy, but creating such a dust storm with all the snow and that, and it's on a turn, and next thing you know, 3 or 4 people behind you are off the road, right? One guy can cause a lot of havoc if he's not driving right out there.
And then how would people be able to contact you if at any point they need your services or need some help?
You can call me at 780-861-0165, 24/7 a day. We're here for any emergency services you have. We do not want to leave anybody in distress. Um, we're here to help. Our main goal is to help people out and to keep you on the road. Um, no judgmental. Accidents happen, and we're here to get you out.
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
An upcoming fundraiser is aiming to raise money for new diagnostic imaging equipment at the Lloydminster Hospital. And to learn more, I spoke with one of the event's coordinators. The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation is hosting its third annual Gift to Health fundraiser next month. And to talk about the 12-hour stream, I'm joined by committee member Mikey Dubs Welligan. So, Mike, welcome to the show. But diving in here, what can you tell people about this 12-hour stream?
So December 7th, last year we had myself just run on a treadmill. This year, I've somehow managed to convince 23 other runners to join me. And so there'll be 24 of us running on treadmills to help raise money in a 12-hour window for the Lloyd Regional Health Foundation.
And over the course of this 12-hour stream, there's going to be intermittent check-ins with the runners, or how's it going to work?
So the digital stream will be similar as last year. They'll be doing live interviews with personnel from our community, outside our community. There's some special guests that will be there. And in between, they will be broadcasting the running at the same time, as well as they'll be checking in with individual runners on a so many minute basis to see how are the community runners doing, how are the season runners doing, is everyone having a good time. I know Maz Entertainment will be there, and they are doing a full production system. And how I've been explaining this to everyone when they say, "What are you doing for production?" I asked Cody Maz at Maz Entertainment. I said, I want it like a Nickelback concert in there. So she's gonna be alive in the Stockade this year.
And with a fundraising goal of $500,000, the event is aiming to raise money for diagnostic imaging equipment that can be used at the Lloydminster Hospital. So why is this cause important to you, I guess?
So the importance from me being very physically active and being very highly promoting youth to be out and get active, I think that diagnostic imaging equipment is probably very critical for our community, because I've needed it before in my past for some knee surgeries, and we've discussed that last year on the Health Foundation. And I know a lot of people are participating. They're hoping that they don't need it after this 12-hour run. So in my eyes, it's a critical piece for the community to ensure that the safety of everyone that lives in our district.
And just before we wrap things up here, looking ahead to the future, for people who might want to learn more about the fundraiser, or maybe they want to make a donation, where's the best place for them to go online?
So the Lloyd Regional Health Foundation will be streaming it via their Facebook page. I believe they're doing it on other social media platforms. I'm sure it's YouTube. Instagram will be very active that day. But primarily they'll be going off of, I believe, Facebook and YouTube this year to stream it live.
Thanks so much for doing this, Mike.
No problem, brother. Thank you for having me. And December 7th, we'll see you guys there.
Last Friday, the Holy Rosary Raiders cashed their ticket to the Northern Provincial Final. Evan Kenny has more ahead of the game, plus a look at how the weather could affect it.
Football fields across the prairies look much different today than they did for the Holy Rosary Raiders' last game. 15 centimeters of snow different, in fact. For Raiders head coach Vince Oreo, the weather isn't making him lose sleep.
Whatever it is, it's going to be the same for both teams. So there really is no excuse. I don't think one team favors bad weather over another. Both teams are going to have to just deal with it. So
after defeating Sylvan Lake, Alberta's third-ranked Tier 3 school, 49-0, the team is preparing for the Northern Provincial Final this Saturday against the Sturgeon Spirits.
There was a minute left in the first quarter before we scored. So we haven't been in that situation for a while. We've been scoring fairly easy, so we're like, okay, finally, we're in a game. This is what we wanted to be. This is provincial quarterfinal. This is what we expected at this level. This week's a Saturday game, which is the first Saturday game we've played this season, so I don't really like that. But it does give us an extra day to practice.
The forecast for Saturday is predicting a high of -7 with a chance of some light snow. This is nothing compared to Oreo's worst game.
Like somewhere in that 20 below. We went to Grand Prairie, I want to say it was 2014, and it was -23 when we showed up at the facility for warm-up.
Kickoff Saturday is at noon in Sherwood Park. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now, before we go to break, let's take a look at some agriculture prices. Taking a very quick look at your 7-day forecast, we've got some cold days ahead, especially on Sunday and next Wednesday and Thursday. On that Sunday, though, we're going to see a high of -7 and a low of -24. That's all the time we have for this evening, though. So for Primetime Local News, I'm Tate Lakecraft, and sweet dreams.